from what you've seen, as much as you can tell us, would you say that the Kings have the Stanley Cup hangover? Are they just sluggish because not only they're veteran, but because been there, done that? We're kind of over it.
The Kings actually set the record for the most playoff games played over the span of 3 years.
That's right.
They won the Stanley Cup in 2012. They went to the Western Conference Finals in 2013, and they win the Cup in 2014. And they have to go, they go 3 7-game series and then a 5-game series to win the Cup. Like that's a lot of extra hockey. They're basically playing 4 seasons in 3 years. It's tough. Those hits add up, but to say that the Kings can't do it because of that, the Kings shouldn't have been able to come back last year when they were down 3-0 against San Jose. They shouldn't have been able to win 3-game 7s all on the road. They do things they're not supposed to do because, and the players echo this refrain quite often, they believe. They believe in each other, they trust the system, they trust the coaches. They just assume they're going to win any game. They can be down 5-0, and they assume that they're going to find a way to come back and win the game.
Well, in saying that, how scared is every Western Conference team? Like, we do not want the Kings in the freaking playoffs because once it's the playoffs, it's a whole new ball game, and you have the defending champs most likely as an 8 seed. I don't even think they have a shot at the 7 seed, but how scared are all these other teams? Are everybody cheering against the Kings right now?
I know people in San Jose are definitely cheering against the Kings right now. Really, gosh, this year for hockey, if you're not a hockey fan, I think this is the time to become a hockey fan. The teams right now are so good. There's so many stars right now and stars, or guys who will be stars next year and in the years to come. There's so much good hockey happening right now. Anaheim is, leading for the President's Trophy, the best overall record in the regular season. And last year, some people wondered if they could handle tough situations. This year, they've handled tough situations easily. They've had goaltending things. They've had to use a lot of different goaltenders, sign guys in the middle of the season to fill in and play goal, and they won games. Corey Perry, their leading goal scorer, he gets injured and he has the mumps. He misses a lot of games. They still keep winning. Their young defensemen and Sami Vatanen and Hampus Lindholm get hurt. They keep winning. Right now, I don't think there's a hotter team in the league than the Minnesota Wild. They pick up a guy who's been a career backup pretty much in Devin Dubnyk. He comes in and just the whole team catches fire, and he's starting 30-some-odd games consecutively. They're the hottest team in the league right now. I don't think anyone wants to run into them. Calgary finds ways to win games when they shouldn't win games. No one wants to face them. Vancouver, kind of under the radar, playing good hockey. No one wants to face them. The Blues are deep. They're going to get healthier. Shattenkirk's going to come back. Tarasenko's going to get healthy. No one wants to face them. And no one wants to really face Jonathan Toews and the Blackhawks, especially if, I've seen some reports that maybe Patrick Kane comes back from injury a little bit earlier than anticipated. Who wants to run into that again?
Right.
Everyone's good right now. It's great.
And you never know.
Man, do we have a hat that I can just draw a name out of?
Well, we already know that the Kings are obviously your first choice.
No, not necessarily.
Oh, okay. Okay, take that back.
They're, as of right now, as we're having this conversation, they're not in the playoffs. I think it's a little bit presumptuous to assume they'll be in the playoffs. Winnipeg's a really good team. They're a heavy team. I think if I'm going to be really bold and pick a team out of the West, I think Anaheim gets there. I think Bruce Boudreau could get over that hump. Nashville's right there as well. There's a lot of good teams in the West.
I have on the line with me James Nicholson, insider for LAKings.com. James, how you doing today?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing, Will?
Doing great. Great to have you on the line. So we're here to talk a little bit of hockey and southern sunny California, getting some more hockey teams. Talk to us a little bit what was announced last week, James.
Well, the American Hockey League is coming to California. Currently, there are 3 ECHL teams, and those are going to transition into being part of 5 AHL teams in California starting next season. So we're going to have teams in San Jose, Stockton, Bakersfield, Ontario, and in San Diego.
So the ECHL and AHL, let's talk about the little bit of the difference between those two and where they're at in the structure of minor league hockey.
Well, the ECHL is, to parallel baseball, that would be considered like Double-A. So you have a lot of guys who kind of, are really working hard to get up to that next level. And then with the AHL, that would be more comparable to AAA baseball. So I believe it's something like 88% of all current NHL players have played in the American Hockey League at some point.
Obviously, with the AHL moving to California, there's going to be some challenges and there's going to be a lot of benefits that happen. So could you talk a little bit about what the challenges and the benefits for these kind of moves are?
Well, the biggest challenge so far has been buying all of the AHL teams. So the Ducks buying the affiliate from Norfolk and owning that team was a process that has taken quite a bit of time. In addition to that, staffing some new teams, shuffling maybe some personnel around between the AHL and ECHL levels, asking staff members to possibly move across the country to remain with the organizations. And then something I've been hearing a little bit about is taxes, the players' taxes on their salaries with the team. It's supposedly for some of these teams and for some of these players going to increase with the move to California. Well, with the AHL coming to California, the benefits for these teams definitely are the amount of travel done by the players when they're called up or sent back down. Hockey operation staffs aren't going to have to fly internationally or across the country as much anymore. Actually, the two teams, the NHL teams in Canada will still have to fly internationally, but it's still considerably less travel for them. Plus, it's just going to be, I think, a logical way to save some money in the long term.
So explain what a two-way contract does, how teams move from their minor league team and to their NHL franchise, and how that gets sent back, and what the difference is between a two-way contract and a one-way contract.
Well, a two-way contract means you're paid according to the scale of the league you're in currently. So if you're on a two-way contract and you're at the American Hockey League level, you're getting paid, that amount. We'll say it's around $88,000 annually. Then when you get called up to the NHL, for the amount of games you're up there, you're making an NHL level salary. So your pay rate goes from $88,000 annually to a prorated, maybe $800,000 contract.
Big bump.
Oh yeah. So with the two-way deal, also, if it's on an entry-level contract, so players between 18 and 25 who have played a certain number of games under the limit, you can go between the leagues as many times as you want without having to clear waivers.